Hey guys, Vance here. So, Australia didn't invent touring cars, but it understood them early. Heavy sedans, real circuits. In Australia, touring cars were intimate. Same tracks, same rivalries, same arguments year after year. But while Australia refined intensity, Europe was preparing something broader. Before touring cars were a category, they were an inconvenience. Manufacturers didn't build race cars, they modified road cars, steel bodies, production engines, minimal reinforcement. The idea wasn't spectacle, it was proof. If a car could survive a race, it could survive a customer. Early touring races weren't refined, they were endurance tests disguised as competition. Brakes faded, suspension failed, gearbox protested, and that was the point. These cars weren't fast because they were light, they were fast because they were pushed. That philosophy spread quickly. In 1963, Europe gave touring cars structure. The European Touring Car Championship wasn't invented to entertain, it was designed to compare. Different manufacturers, different countries, one set of limits. The cars were still recognizable, but the preparation changed. Roll cages appeared, suspension geometry was reconsidered, engines were tuned for durability, not peaks. This is where touring cars stopped being modified road cars and started becoming purpose adapted machines. Australia proved that touring cars could survive punishment. Europe would prove they could survive pressure. By the 1970s, the cars themselves became statements. BMW chased weight reduction. The 3.0 CSL wasn't aggressive, it was deliberate. Thinner steel, wider arches, an engine designed to live near its limit. It didn't overwhelm competitors, it exhausted them. Alpha chased sensation, high revving engines, immediate throttle response, a constant edge of instability. These cars didn't tolerate hesitation, they rewarded confidence. When they failed loudly. Ford focused on accessibility. The Capri looked fast. That mattered. It connected racing to aspiration. Touring cars in this era still felt human. You could see weight transfer and you could hear mechanical strain. The 1980s marked the beginning of turbocharging and the end of innocence, when power found shortcuts. Turbocharging changed touring cars permanently. The Volvo 240 Turbo didn't charm anyone. It didn't need to. Boost arrived early, torque flattened the learning curve. Suddenly, power wasn't proportional to displacement. The car didn't care about aesthetics, it cared about finishing, and it did repeatedly. This moment shifted touring cars from driver managed machines to engine managed threats. Cost rose, development accelerated. By the late 1980s, the European Touring Championship collapsed, not from failure, but from escalation. The 90s proved to be the super touring era, precision over brutality. Touring cars returned lighter, tighter, and more controlled. Naturally aspirated engines, high RPM, front wheel drive dominance. These cars were surgical. Aerodynamics mattered. Suspension geometry became obsessive. The racing looked cleaner, but the engineering was ruthless. Cars like the Alpha 155, BMW E36, Nissan Primera were no longer pretending to be road cars. They were race cars wearing familiar silhouettes. From Europe to the world, touring cars expanded globally. The World Touring Car Championship brought common regulations, global grids, controlled costs. Cars became heavier again. Electronics increased, driver aids appeared, the racing tightened. Less chaos, more parity. Modern touring cars are faster than ever, but also more regulated. Turbocharged 4 cylinders, spec components, balance of performance. The cars still look familiar, but the illusion is thinner. They are race machines first, road cars second. Yet the appeal remains. You still recognize the badge, you still understand the shape. Touring cars survive because they sit in between, not exotic enough to feel distant, not ordinary enough to feel slow. They occupy the space where belief lives, from steel bodied sedans to turbocharged aero controlled weapons. Modern touring cars are faster, safer, more controlled, but the idea hasn't changed. Take a normal shape, strengthen it, push it until it reveals character. Hit like if you enjoyed the video.